Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right, Taylor 500 help. Taylor Heating and Plumbing. You have wind conditions that are brr, and you have cold conditions and snow. You want to make sure that your furnace is doing what it needs to do, and that is warm up your house. So if you're having problems with your furnace, go to the go-to guys, Taylor Heating and Plumbing. They will make sure that everything is working in order at your house. Taylor 500 help since 1947. Make Taylor your furnace repair shop, your one-stop shop for water heaters with Bradford White water heaters. And if you're looking for a job at Taylor, they're looking for home energy techs, HVAC technicians, and plumbers. So make Taylor your one-stop shop for heating and plumbing, air conditioning, duct cleaning. They are the professionals to go to. That's Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. One of these days, we're going to get snow, and you're going to need a snow blower. I don't know if it's tomorrow or the next day, but go up and see my friends, Justin and Kimberly in Webster, 195 North Avenue. Since 1969, providing Rochester and the surrounding areas, sales, service, parts, snow blowers. They got them, chainsaws. They got them, blowers, lawnmowers, all makes and models. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster, 195 North Avenue. And of course, Express Sealers. Express Sealers, if you need a driveway, residential or business plowed, you call Brian, 645-2010. That's 645-2010. In the summer, he seals driveways. In the winter, of course, he's a plow snow removal service for driveways, residential, and business. East Side only, Ontario, Williamson, Webster, Penfield, Irondequoit. And that's, of course, Express Sealers at 645-2010. Please support all of our advertisers. They support us here at Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People podcast network.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in cloudy 30-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Hello.
It was an ugly Chiefs win. It's an ugly Bills loss.
Uh-oh.
There's a camel invading St. Louis.
What?
Variants that are good for you. What's going on? Have mercy.
We're good for you, and we're here today.
Here's Kimberly Wright.
Hey, it is Kimberly's Revolution. I'm Kimberly. It's the name of the show. It's pretty easy. We don't try to trick you or fool you. It's Kimberly's Revolution, and I'm Kimberly. That's not Kimberly.
Nope, never was.
Just Tom.
Sometimes.
And of course, sitting over to the end of the studio is Austin, our producer. There he is, giving a big thumbs up. Glad to see Austin. Kimberly's Revolution, of course, it is Tuesday. We the People Podcast Network.com. Check it out. We have t-shirts for sale. Stocking stuffers, people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Stocking stuffers.
Stuff your t-shirts.
You got to do that. Yeah, we're glad to be here. It is a Tuesday. It was an ugly Bills win last night. That wind. We always say it's not the cold, it's the wind, and we mean it.
You're calling it wind? Since when do we have an effing hurricane in Buffalo? God, yeah.
Well, come on. You're being
wind.
Let's not exaggerate. Okay.
New England threw the ball 3 times the whole game.
Well, I can't help it if they are a sucky football team and they beat the Bills. I was at the game, by the way. There we are on the way to the game last night. Oh, all trigger alert. Trigger took a picture. There I am on the way to the game.
Did you use your real vaccination card?
I don't have a real vaccination card. But nonetheless, there we are on the way to the game last night. Completely froze. But I waited a whole 24 hours or so before I said anything. Gotcha this time. I know people would they get so mad. But yeah, so there we are. It was a Buffalo Bills loss last night. It was an ugly game. It was windy. It was cold. It was snowy. It was really everything that makes a Buffalo football game good, except for the loss. And that was kind of sucky. Did you watch the game?
Unfortunately, I did, yes.
At what point did you start drinking?
I needed to be drinking. That's for
Or do
sure.
you have a thing that you don't start to drink until Thursday or Friday?
I was actually sober at that game and watching that game.
Were you?
Yeah.
Because you don't start to drink till Wednesday. Let me just tell you something right now. Drinking and Christmas shopping is not a good idea. Whoa, let's get that. Get that. Let's get it all. It's a bad idea. I'm just going to let everyone know. Drinking and Christmas shopping.
Yeah, I bought a $12,000 ring for Lori at one of those cruise gift shops. That was a bad idea.
God, you're a cheap ass.
12,000. We ended up taking it back.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Because you sobered up?
I sobered up. This is a bad idea.
You're like an Indian giver.
And she didn't like it, so she went and got a different one.
For more?
Oh yeah.
See, isn't that always the way? It is always the way.
She's worth it.
You Christmas shopping done? You've got like what, 2 weeks?
I lost Lori on Saturday. I lost her one of those days in Marshall's for like 2 hours. Okay. So I just ended up, it was Sunday. So I ended up at Red Robin to watch some football
and drink.
And I did have one there.
Of course you did.
And while she somehow was in Marshall's for 2 hours.
Yeah. I just, shopping and spending money and drinking. Don't recommend it. Yeah. So we want to say a big thank you, of course, to Fitz at Rockbox Productions. I saw him. He's all dressed up as Santa Claus in his podcast studios. If you have friends and family that want to put together some kind of a podcast of carols, you want to do that. You want to get together. You have a company. You want to send out like a company video Christmas card. Fitz at Rockbox Productions does all of that. It's Fitz at Rockvox Productions. That's ROCVOX Productions. They are in Bushnell's Basin. We thank him because he really helped set all this up here at We the People. We the People podcast.
We the People
podcast network. Today's show is called Just Asking for a Friend.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, it's not the Rolling Stones song, but I know now it's in my head. Just asking for a friend. That's why we have malls in Vegas that have kiosks with drinks. Come on.
Yes.
I'm moving to Vegas now, if that's the case. They have malls with kiosks with drinks.
Nassau, Bahamas, that same thing. They have bars in the stores.
You must have been in Henrietta. I was at Eastview, actually, and we stopped at Champs because we needed to pregame our shopping experience.
At Champs?
Which I highly recommend. I like Champs. I used to like it a lot. And we did Sunday football there for years, my old radio partner and I, when we, had our show. But I always kind of like to go there. It's fun. And then you kind of, make your way around the mall. But anyway, Just Asking for a Friend is the name of the show today. And it applies in several different ways. One, the Jussie Smollett trial is going on, and what a circus that is. Also, we have a kid in an Ivy League school. I say he's a kid. He's a 22-year-old man that transitioned into a female, and he was quite an athletic individual when he was a man. And he's even more so quite an athlete as a woman. But see, he started out life, and for 22 years, he was a man, and now he's competing on the women's swim team, and he's killing it. That's shocking to no one.
Right.
He was a man a year ago. He's transitioned, and he's in a year of his transition, and he's been in whatever it is, testosterone reducing, drug protocol for only a year. But he's a 22-year-old woman who up until a year ago was a man.
Why is it that all the woke Democratic policies only hurt the people that they're trying to protect?
It is completely horrible for women's athletics.
And everything.
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm just going to ask you, if a guy played men's hockey on a
little
major
different in
team.
Hockey because there's no checking in women's hockey.
But still you could hurt someone, right? I mean,
yeah,
lacrosse. I'm thinking, okay, so a guy, becomes a woman and then is on a woman's, hockey team or lacrosse team. It's dangerous. It is exceptionally dangerous. Now, swimming, there's no danger.
No.
Right? Except for, he's bigger, he's stronger. She's bigger, she's stronger. She's built differently than any woman on the team.
Yeah. Be a man, be a woman. Just You shouldn't be on the women's swim team.
I'm just
if you're
asking for a friend. Should that person be on the women's swim team?
Of course not.
I'm also asking for a friend if another CNN. Hey,
you got that one right.
I got it right again. I'm
one for Kimberly.
I'm like I'm psycho. I'm psychic.
You're psycho?
I'm psychic. I'm almost psycho. I'm so psychic.
The psychic.
I know.
Call 1-800 Kimberly.
Psycho psychic. Someone should use that. Yeah. So, Kimberly, if you remember my message from last week, hubby figured it out. I didn't get. I don't. Oh, okay. Listen, I didn't really go to the game. I'm just joking. I didn't really
trigger
go to the
alert.
game.
Trigger alert.
I did not go to the game last night. I have to be honest. I really didn't go to the game. I was just teasing. I wanted to see how many people I could kind of get in an uproar, but I did not. Just to put the record straight, I did not go to the game last night in Buffalo. So there's that. just so you know, if you remember my message from last week, hubby figured it out, went last night. I didn't get to go though. Okay. So I think someone was saying that, where to get a card. And I said, I can't tell you that. So, but anyway, there are vaccine cards out there, for the taking. And I'm just asking for a friend, if on CNN should another person, be fired. And I'm talking about the Jussie Smollett trial, Don Lemon, and also just asking for a friend if Rochester City Council should be worried about changing names of parks when, as of yesterday, we had 79 homicides in the city of Rochester, 402 shootings for the year.
We're only worried about owners from 200 years ago.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah.
That's all I'm worried. Okay.
So what are we going to call Rochester when they decide to change that?
Well, they have to, right?
Right. What are we going to call it?
I don't know. But we're not worried about all the homicides. We're just worried about changing names on things because that's going to make things all better.
Yeah.
If you change the name, it'll make it all better. It's like Facebook. I mean, they're really following in Facebook, steps, right? Rochester City Council. We're going to ignore the elephant in the room and we're just going to change the name of the parks. And then maybe they won't report on the homicides. Brilliant idea. So it's so brilliant. So we're going to get to all those things because they fall under the definition of today's show, which is just asking for a friend. Many of you may be asking, how mad was my husband when he found out, came home, that I have a new cat.
Have mercy.
We have a new cat. There she is.
Cutie.
There's Mercy. Mercy was a rescue. And Mercy is 8 years old, which did give me some hesitation on taking Mercy home.
Because of the vet bills?
No, just because of her age. And, I already have 3 female cats. And usually, even though she's been around dogs, it takes them a lot longer to adapt to an environment. So I got her on Thursday. That was Thursday. Today, I bought her a new pet bed and a new little food bowl. And let me show you the video of Mercy today.
She's looking at me a little funny there.
She is looking at it. She's so excited for a new bed. Look at that.
You got a new bed?
Meow.
And a toy? You crazy girl. What are you doing? You crazy girl. You like your toy?
She got a toy and a new bed.
You got a new bowl.
What did Rich get?
And a new bowl. He got a new cat. He got a new cat.
Congratulations, Rich.
He said,
Mercy,
were you going to give me a call?
Mercy.
My mom says, did you tell Rich you were getting the, no, it has always been. And let me just say that I highly recommend this to anyone, male or female. It has always worked for me.
Stop looking at me, cat.
That you always beg for forgiveness. You never ask permission. I'm just going to say it's worked for me.
It only works for females.
I highly recommend it. Never ask permission. I mean,
don't do it, guys.
There's
Don't do
certain
it.
things that you have to discuss, like, hey, I think I'm going to sell the house, or I'm going to buy a house, or hey, I think I'm going to buy a car.
Hey, new cats in the house.
Okay, that's different. That's different.
Okay.
That is different. It's not like, I'm going out and bringing home a brand new car with a whole new payment, right? I'm bringing home a cat, which if you have 2 or 3, what's another?
Just leave the door open.
Just another. So Rich told me that was my Christmas present. So there she is. There is Mercy, the new addition to the Ray household. We are so excited. You guys know how I love cats. So we're excited to have her. All right. So everyone's saying, and by the way, I think Omicron was the number one most mispronounced word of the year.
Already?
Along with Dogecoin. Yeah. So they put it together and they found out there's a word I've never heard of, and it's called chuggy. Have you ever heard of the word chuggy, Austin?
Chuggy.
Excuse me?
Chuggy.
Chuggy?
Excuse me. Chuggy. Yeah. Apparently that, along with Omicron, are the two most mispronounced words in 2021. Now, I don't know, and I have never heard of the word chuggy before today, but apparently, according to the lists that people put together, it's a trendy term popularized by Generation Z.
Well, that explains why I don't know what it is.
That they mock outdated and unfashionable things like those pictures that say live, laugh, love. They call that so chuggy. That's so out of date. It's so unfashionable. It's so untrendy.
So it's so not fetch.
So it's not. Yes, it's not fetch at all.
Okay.
At all.
Chuggy.
And then of course,
now I was wondering. I kept telling everybody, God bless you, and they were telling chuggy. I didn't know what they were saying to me.
Yeah. So Omicron, and of course, it's not Omicron. It's not Omicron. It's Omicron. It's very simple. It's in the Greek alphabet. It's been there for hundreds of thousands of years. It's Omicron. It's not any of the other variations that you hear, but that is apparently, along with Dogecoin, the three most mispronounced words: 1, 2, and 3. Chuggy, Omicron, and Dogecoin.
All right.
Omicron, the new variant.
It's good for you.
It's not bad for you.
It's like the chicken pox.
But, that didn't stop that idiot, Comrade de Blasio in New York City, for basically saying, by December 27th, if every single private business and enterprise in New York City, if your people aren't vaccinated, then you're in trouble. I don't know how you enforce that.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
All private sector employees in New York City, from Wall Street traders to restaurant workers, will need to be vaccinated, according to Mayor, Bill de Blasio. He said the spread of Delta plus the Omicron and inside activities during winter is going to lead to a worsening COVID picture. Here's the situation. Omicron is not dangerous.
It's good for you.
In fact, it spreads faster. There's a higher transmit rate with Omicron, but the fact of the matter is, you don't get sick from it.
Go out and get your antibody treatment.
You get a cold. You get a common cold, because what happens when you get Omicron is not devastating. It's not a bad thing. What happens when you get COVID in general? It's not devastating unless you have about several COVID morbidities.
So
we know this.
It's like when your kids had chickenpox and they're in school, right?
So
and you found out that Sally down the street has chickenpox. So you're like, well, your kid's going to get chickenpox at some point.
Might as well.
Why don't you send her over to Sally's house to play?
Right.
And boom, you got chickenpox. Well, now you can get the light version, COVID light. You could get that, and you just go over. Hey, you got the new virus. Yeah, all right. I'll be over. Have a couple beers.
Exactly.
And you get your antibody boost treatment.
That the symptoms aren't bad. The symptoms aren't horrific. They've really ratcheted this up to the nth degree to make it seem like it's going to be a tragic situation. It is not. In fact, South African authorities have said this from the beginning, that Omicron does not have devastating effects, that it's highly transmittable. But again, you're going to feel like you just have the sniffles and a cold. You're not even probably going to notice a big difference. You might not feel great, but you can manage just like we've always managed with the flu and the cold that you get. Seasonal colds, right?
Stock market has responded the last Friday and now today because of that.
The news that private businesses in New York City will be forced to mandate vaccinations is unprecedented. Nowhere else in the country is this being done except for in New York City. So my question is why? Why is Comrade de Blasio doing this?
Why?
Is he going to run for governor? Is he going to run for president?
No.
Then why is he doing it? I mean, I can't. There's no way. It's a spectacle. There's no way that New York City is going to be able to enforce this. I mean, there are 184,000 businesses in the city of New York that will have to have at least one dose of the vaccine by December 27th. There is no testing alternative. There's no way it can possibly be done.
Well, most of those people in New York City have taken the COVID Kool-Aid, right?
I don't know. I think there's some people that are fighting back. This woman who is a president of the Partnership for New York City says there's no forewarning. There's no discussion. There's no idea about whether it's even legal for him to enforce it, because how are you going to enforce something like this? It's not a law. It's a mandate on private businesses who run and operate their own businesses. I mean, so, that's the question. But so they are pushing ahead with this vax requirement for private business. And I'm just asking for a friend, how many lawsuits are going to come out of this? I'm asking for a friend, how are they going to figure out if 184,000 businesses are complying? 184,000 businesses. How many employees are we talking about?
Yeah.
It's unfathomable. I mean,
what was wrong with the honor system? That seemed to be working.
I think you can't make people, get something, that's more like a flu shot than it is, a smallpox. You can't force that.
Well, since now we know that the vaccinated and the unvaccinated transmit COVID at about the same rate.
They do.
That there's no real reason the unvaccinated are not killing grandma any more than the vaccinated are.
It's exactly right.
So,
Justin Austin. I always call him Justin. Why do I do? That's like the second time I've done it in a week and a half.
Wow,
Austin.
It's fine. It's only been like 6 months.
Justins are way more cooler.
Austin is vaccinated. He could get COVID. He could transmit COVID to either one of us. I don't know if you're vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated. But, you already had it, though. You already had COVID. Why would you double down?
Well, because we're going away, plus the grandbaby and my mom.
You don't have to be vaccinated to go away.
Well, it's just a lot easier.
I mean, we went to Aruba. All you have to do is take the test.
I know.
That's all you have. That's all you have to do.
Once they made Lori get vaccinated over at the big hospital on the hill.
Or she'd lose her job.
Then all of a sudden now she's like, well, now you got to go get it. It's like, what? What do I got to go get it for? Well, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So you listen to your wife.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it doesn't matter.
I would die if it wasn't for her.
Anyone that's vaccinated or unvaccinated could get COVID and transmit COVID to someone else.
Yeah.
So I ask you, what in the hell does a vaccination do? It really doesn't do much of anything.
They say 9 out of 10, whatever, as far as hospitalizations and death. So in other words, it truly becomes more of a personal choice, because if it doesn't stop transmission of the disease.
And it does not.
And
I know so many people that were vaccinated that got COVID.
Well, right.
Like I'm going to tell you today. So my brother texted me today and he said, Joe, and that's his wife. His wife is named Joe. It's my brother Mike in Kansas City. He sent me. Did
they find the camel?
He sent me this text today. Both Joe and I have COVID. They were vaccinated back in August.
Right.
They have COVID, and they probably gave it to whomever. They transmitted it to other people. In fact, they watch grandkids. So maybe the grandkids I don't know. It doesn't really affect kids, but he's also saying he's mandating de Blasio, tightening the requirements for kids. Children ages 5 to 11 will have to have vax cards in order to participate in any indoor activities.
Really?
As of December 14th. That's next week.
McDonald's Play Place is out.
Kids from 5 to 11 have to show their vaccination card. what kind of communist city are we dealing with downstate? What kind of Nazi regime is running
Just shaking
downstate?
down a 7-year-old. Look, you can't get in. Give me your card.
There's no Happy Meal for you.
Right.
You don't have a Vax card? The kid is jonesing for a French fry and a hamburger. He can't go into McDonald's to get a Happy Meal or play in the. Listen, you go in the ball pit because it's nothing but an ocean of virus.
Right.
We all know that. You never let your kids play in one of those McDonald's playgrounds because they're just, it's.
Why not?
Ugh. I mean, it's loaded with germs, right?
You got to fill it. It's your part of your job as a parent is to fill your kid up with bacteria.
Right. You have it's a good
You
immune
have to
system.
create that immune system.
Only the strongest are going to survive, people.
You live in a bubble and you got a problem.
So
the boy in the plastic
that's
bubble.
what we're dealing with downstate. And I'm sure that he's hoping more people will jump on the bandwagon so that Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York City, can be viewed as this hero, right?
He's a jackass.
But he's not a hero. He's dangerous. Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York City is a dangerous man. He is so overtaken with this power trip, right? That he thinks he can do anything he wants. And he is, with very little pushback.
What's the new mayor going to do? Is he just ramming this through now, figuring the new mayor will back him up?
I don't know.
We'll see.
But hey, we've got a governor that's right in lockstep with him.
Oh, yeah.
We have a governor that you thought, maybe. But I told everyone, the devil you know is better than the one you don't. And from the start, I said,
she's worse.
This could backfire on us. And it did. Because I don't know if Governor Cuomo would have allowed Bill de Blasio to make that big, shining moment decision.
Yeah, well, the Democrats eat their own. Who do you think's the ones that were behind getting Cuomo out? Right?
I mean,
the faction.
It's you. I mean, honestly, it is a little tinfoil hat. Mm-hmm. But I think that's really what they wanted to do.
Sure.
Let's get Cuomo out. We can get our agenda through.
He wasn't crazy enough for
We'll
him.
start with New York City. We'll make it so all businesses have to have their employees, not just government or county. And then we'll slowly move upstate until we hit Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, and all points in between. And we will tell them they also have to, do the same. Can you imagine the uproar? Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
Upstate and Western New York is not downstate at all. There will be pushback. I know a guy that was run out of a restaurant over the weekend. Can we see the county health director, Mike Mendoza, who, by the way, has said
Mr. Donuts.
Mass for all kids, right? Mass for all the kids in school. There he is. There he is. There is Dr. Mike Mendoza with some blonde that I don't think is his wife.
Kimberly, how do we know he's breathing?
He could not be breathing. Right. They could.
Maybe he's just holding his breath.
He apparently likes to go out with the ladies. Isn't Mike Mendoza? I mean, and I can't judge, right?
Yeah.
Who's that lady? He was at Thirsties over the weekend, and apparently some very angry mom
confronted him,
whose kids have to wear masks in school.
That's probably not a good idea, though.
But there he is, unmasked, in a restaurant, standing up, not sitting down eating, but standing up. They say it's his new hot thing. I don't see any of it. I don't know if it's his new hot thing. I definitely don't think she's hot. And I thought she was married. So I don't know.
You don't like the Harry Potter look? You don't think that's hot?
They've said
Hermione's hot.
And I'm just asking for a friend. If that is his girlfriend, did he leave his wife? Are they divorced? I don't know. But the serious thing is, he's not wearing a mask. All your children in schools now are being forced to wear a mask. They're forcing your kids to be vaccinated. When I walked in over the weekend to Walmart, they're now standing there asking you to wear a mask again.
Really?
And I have said, at the Walmart closest to me over by Chili's and Pet
Elm
Boys.
Ridge Center.
Elm Ridge Center. Yeah.
Okay.
Lady standing at the front, please take a mask. And I said, absolutely not.
Well, you could be polite and take the mask.
I said,
Kimberly,
I am not taking the mask.
You won't?
I absolutely will not.
Not even to be polite?
I will not take the mask.
You don't have to wear it.
I will not wear the mask.
You say, thank you very much. I would love to take this mask.
Absolutely not. Keep your mask. Keep your mask. Because if Dr. Mike Mendoza, when he's out with whatever hooch he's out with, doesn't have to wear a mask,
I'm sure they're very lovely, lovely ladies.
They're not real estate agents, are they? I'm just, again, I'm asking for a friend.
They're very lovely ladies.
Hopefully she's not a real estate agent. What's the other one? Hopefully she's not a real estate agent. But if she is, she should be wearing a mask. I mean, if she's with Dr. Mike Mendoza, and if they're concerned about transmitting virus, OMG, she looks like a child. She's not. She is not. She has a name, and I forget what it looks. I forget the name.
Look, I get the whole political propaganda. I get the whole, we have to do it. You don't. The whole, what was the rules for thee and not for me?
Rules for thee, but not for me.
But I mean, come on. Don't these people have private lives too? I mean, are we really chasing people down in restaurants?
Well, I wasn't at the restaurant. Someone happened to be there.
Right. I
saw
know.
him standing up without a mask on. And I'm asking you, is that fair when your child has to be masked?
No,
all day at school?
Of course
no.
not. But
it just goes to prove that they know these rules and mandates don't work and are ridiculous. And they are not following them. It goes from President Biden to his communications director. It goes to the Secretary of State. She doesn't wear a mask half the time.
The guy that talks into his earpiece, he never wears a mask.
No mask. It's okay for them.
I'd like to meet
but
that
they
guy.
want to lay the law of the land down on all of us. They want to ruin people's lives and businesses with their mask mandates and their vaccination mandates. They want to take people's jobs away. I mean, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing because we know that even if you're wearing some dirty mask that you've been wearing for a week, right, isn't doing you any good, just like a vaccination isn't doing you any good.
No, they already know that.
You can still get sick and you can still transmit and you can still die.
We've known for months. We've known for months that the vaccine doesn't stop transmission. We've known for months that masks really don't stop the virus.
Yeah.
But the old Democrat call playbook, if now it's down to, well, if this person didn't die because of this, then everything's worth it. 50,000 people losing their jobs and people getting forced to do all this stuff.
I mean, my question is,
somehow it slows the spread down 5%, it's worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And how many people at those 184,000 businesses in New York City are going to be out of a job? I'm thinking
everybody's going to get it.
It's the silliest thing. But Comrade de Blasio has bigger plans. Let's be honest. I mean, he may try his hand at running for governor. Hopefully he won't win, but I don't know. This state is effing crazy.
Can he challenge Putin and run in Russia?
Because I'm a real estate agent, I will just tell you this. Because I saw
what?
I saw the numbers today. I am a real estate agent.
We are?
You're a real estate agent and an appraiser.
Not until I take my code of ethics class.
We're under the umbrella of Revere Realty here in Irondequoit. An estimated 329,717 new residents packed up their bags and moved into some glorious home in Florida. That's according to the new figures that were out today. An estimated 329,717 new residents packed their bags and made their way to Florida.
Crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That is an astounding number of people.
So Florida's going to turn Democrat next time.
Within the last, well, they have a message for everyone coming into Florida. We won't stand for your crazy New York laws here.
Right.
I mean, they've already made that very clear that they're not standing for it down there. So I thought that was a pretty amazing stat.
Yeah, that seems like a big number.
So
yeah, but that's not just from New York. That's all over. Michigan,
it's probably,
Pennsylvania,
yeah. I mean,
Massachusetts, everywhere up here.
exactly. I have tried to talk my husband into Florida. He is not having it. Hey, you're watching and listening to Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network.com. I am Kimberly. We want to thank our advertisers, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture. They are fabulous. If you need a gift card, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, they do wonders with holistic healing, and they do the massage, and they have CBD oils. They have everything there at Fantuzzo's Acupuncture. If you could please support them. Of course, Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. If you want to buy someone a big snowblower for a Christmas gift, because the snow is going to come sooner or later. And of course, Express Sealers. If you need residential or business driveway plowed, Express Sealers. And then of course, Taylor Heating and Plumbing. They've all been supporting us for the last year. We so appreciate all of our advertisers. It will be a year in January for Taylor Heating and Plumbing supporting Kimberly's Revolution. It has been over a year and a half for Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, and it has been about a year for Precision Lawn and Garden. We appreciate all of them reaching out to us and wanting to advertise. If you know a business, or if you know someone who wants to get the word out about their business, let us know. We will add them to the list of all the advertisers, and we appreciate them.
There was a question in here about refinancing, selling your house after you refinance. Generally, it's based on the cost of your closing costs. But when you make personal decisions, you don't make economic decisions.
Right.
In other words, if you did refinance your house a couple years ago, usually it's, I think, 2 to 4 years, somewhere in there, by the time you recapture your closing costs by the lower interest rate,
right?
Because you pay interest up front,
of course.
But you don't make purchases of magnitude like this because it's not necessarily in your best financial interest. You make it for your family and because of what you're doing.
Right.
So,
exactly.
So,
and you could probably get more for your house today than when you refinance.
Well, that's the catch-22. You could get more for your house selling it now, but you're going to have to pay more for the next one when you buy it.
Right.
So,
well, depending on where you're going and what you're doing. I mean, I will give you for example, the last house that I just sold, we listed for $394,000. We sold for $431,000. They're moving to Florida. So
what did they buy in Florida?
I think they're building is my understanding. So they are building, and I think what they're building is a lot less than what they just sold their house for in Greece.
Okay.
Oh, I want to show you. So my new build in Greece that we sold back in October is almost done, and the residents are going to move in before Christmas. They have a move-in date before Christmas. I was just out there with the appraiser the other day. I want to show you the shower. I have shower envy. They have one of those rainforest shower heads, which are all the rage. You have to have one. Austin, there we go. So there is, isn't that a cool design for the shower in this new build in Greece? I love it. I really think it's cool. And then of course you have the 2 shower heads. It's bigger than it looks. I'm a horrible picture taker, but I have to hand it to people who take pictures for real estate, because they make some places look astounding.
It's all about the wide angle lens.
It is all about the pictures, people, in real estate.
Yeah.
You thought location. No. Pictures. But
wide angle lens and light.
That is the new shower in my new build. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, please reach out to us at Revere Realty. You can direct message me on Twitter or direct message me on Facebook or wherever. Just send me an email. All right. I predicted last week that Chris Cuomo would be out.
Ahead of yourself.
I got ahead of myself. I predicted last week, today, I believe, that Chris Cuomo probably wouldn't make it through the week. I was a day off. He was fired on Saturday. He lost his Sirius XM job by yesterday morning, I think by Sunday night, which I got to be honest with you, I didn't know Chris Cuomo had a Sirius XM radio show. I got to be honest. I had no idea. But CNN fired him on Saturday afternoon. I can't say that I didn't see it coming. I said last Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't see how he gets through it. And of course he didn't. And now he's saying if CNN doesn't pay out the rest of his $18 million contract,
That's all.
he's suing.
Of course he is.
If they can prove that in it, I don't know what his contract looks like, but they have these things called cause clauses, and Chad would be a good person to talk to about this, but they have a for cause clause probably in his contract, just like they had a cause clause in my contract.
Is that what happens when Mrs. Claus cheats on Mr. Claus?
That's when you don't get squat that you should have coming to you when they fire you.
Is that what the clause contract is?
That's what the clause contract. When they have a for cause clause in the contract, you're screwed. I mean, really, contracts only benefit the company. They never benefit the employee, no matter where you are. But I'm sure that Chris Cuomo had a high-powered agent and attorney, and he's going to get some of the money coming to. I don't believe he'll probably get all of the money. So here we are today. We have Chris Cuomo out. We have Chris Cuomo out of his radio job at Sirius XM. Again, didn't even know he had it. Who knew? Now we have CNN host Don Lemon, who apparently tipped off his friend, Jussie Smollett, that police did not believe his story, to change his story and do not hand over the cell phone to police.
Oops.
That is CNN journalist Don Lemon, who's been reporting on the Jussie Smollett case and didn't really tell us all that they were buddies and that he told Jussie Smollett how to go forward when questioned by the police. Is that journalistic integrity at all coming from CNN? I'm just asking for a friend because I don't know these things. You see, I'm just a woman with a small pea-sized brain, as they said on Anchorman, and I live on Whore Island, so I really don't understand how things work at CNN, apparently. Apparently, you can help your brother get dirt on all of his, sex victims, right?
Right.
Sexual harassment victims.
That's wrong.
Wrong.
Right.
You can masturbate on a Zoom call.
That's perfectly fine.
Apparently. And you can call a friend who made up a whole racist, Make America Great Again, vile assault allegation. And he picks up the phone and he calls that person to tell them how to proceed, and that police don't believe the story, so tell a different story. That's what Don Lemon did. Now, Don Lemon is getting blasted in the press today for covering Jussie Smollett while not telling everyone the extent of his help that he gave him. I think he just Chris Cuomo'd the crap out of Chris Cuomo.
Well, maybe it's Jussie Smollett. He was the victim, right? Supposedly.
He was not a victim.
He was the victim. But Cuomo wasn't the victim. He was the perpetrator.
Yeah.
So maybe Lemon's okay now because he's just protecting victims' rights.
Oh,
Right.
I see where you're going. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid. It's so ridiculous that according to the testimony, Jussie Smollett and the two guys that he hired, that he was friends with, did a dry run of the assault to make sure that they got it right. It's on video.
Isn't he sticking by his story in this whole court case thing?
Because he's crazy. I always say,
why didn't Don Lemon told him that was a bad idea?
You tell a lie long enough and you start to believe your own lie. I think the guy is certifiable.
Probably.
I think, honestly, there's something wrong with him. I mean, for one thing, who comes up with this kind of concoction? You know what? I think my role is going to go away on Empire. So here's what I've got to do. I've got to pretend like I was attacked by two white guys and MAGA hats at 2:30 a.m. on a cold, January or February Chicago night, that they put a noose around my neck. Come on.
Yeah, wasn't it like below zero and he was like walking from like his hotel to a subway or something?
He was walking
like
from he's walking from his, I think he had an apartment.
Subway?
Yeah, he had a condo there.
At 2 something in the morning.
So Lemon last night, straight faced, talked about the trial without mentioning his own involvement. I'm going to say this. I don't see how he gets through this. But they need to do a full house cleaning at CNN. When does the bloodletting start at CNN? They got rid of Cuomo. I don't see how you can keep Don Lemon when he reported on a story and never told anyone that he was helping Jussie Smollett come up with some kind of story that was going to be believable.
Well, it's not like any of these hosts get any ratings anyways, so why wouldn't you use that as an excuse to clean house and start over with fresh talent?
Last night, Don Lemon ended his Monday night show with a report on the latest news from Jussie Smollett's trial. And here we are today.
Right.
How do you get away with that when you're supposed to be a journalist?
What does the word even mean anymore?
It doesn't mean a damn thing, apparently, at CNN.
No, anywhere.
Jussie Smollett had rope from Family Dollar. Is that true? Did that come out? I don't know where he got, but they had supplies. They went and bought supplies.
Mm-hmm.
They had the rope. They had, I don't know, whatever, zip ties. Don Lemon and Joy Reid are racist. Yes, they are. Reading just some of the comments from Kimberly's Revolution text line. So here we are today on Tuesday. It's going to be interesting how Don Lemon's situation plays out with CNN. If CNN has any hopes at all of having any kind of journalistic integrity, any kind of, I don't know. Do you even watch and believe anything they say anymore?
I don't watch CNN.
Where's the credibility on any of this? If they hope for any kind of credibility, if they hope for any kind of journalistic integrity, Don Lemon has to go. They have to get in there and just sweep everything clean.
We'll see what happens.
They can't let this go forward. All right, I'm asking for a friend.
How many friends do you have?
I have a lot of friends. Gender and swimming, does it make a difference?
Sure it does.
Of course it does, right?
Right.
Guys are built differently than women. They have, greater arm length. They have the broad shoulders, right? They're big in the chest area. Not you. But women's athletics are under a direct assault. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there is a transgender University of Pennsylvania swimmer. He's 22 years old. There he is. This is before. This person here used to compete as a man, has smashed 2 U.S. women's record in a weekend competition, and finished one race 38 seconds ahead of now her nearest rival. This is Leah Thomas. She is 22. She is a trans female. She set swimming records in Akron, Ohio over the weekend. She won the 1650 freestyle in record time, beating her closest rival by 38 seconds. Let's see that picture. So this is the before, the after, and the girl she beat over the weekend. He previously competed for Pennsylvania, for University of Pennsylvania's men's swim team for 3 years before joining the women's team last year. His last men's competition was in 2019. There is no way that a trans female should be competing on a women's team, even though he has apparently, according to NCAA rules, had a year of testosterone suppression treatment under her belt, right? Which makes no difference. It's a 22-year-old that is now a woman, but spent 21 years of his life as a man. He's bigger, he's taller, he's faster, he's stronger just by genetics, right? Females will never be able to beat him. He was a good swimmer in his own right.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
Well, I remember when the whole steroid thing came out in baseball, and everybody was like, well, yeah, I could take steroids and I'm not going to be able to hit a baseball any better than I could before, right? If I took steroids. Well, if I became a female and took I can't swim with these girls anyways, so it wouldn't matter. But when somebody is at a competitive level in their own gender, like a Barry Bonds, he
Right.
takes steroids. Now all of a sudden he's the greatest hitter of all time.
Right.
Same thing is true with her. He takes testosterone treatments. And
suppression.
He was a accoladed or very good swimmer before. Now all of a sudden he's dominating, right? The female events.
Because females can't beat him. And guess what? All these women who have competed throughout their lives and trained and gone to practices are now getting beat by a woman who just a year ago was a man.
That's the whole thing, is that their programs hurt. Who's the real victim here?
But Tom,
she is.
Here's the other thing.
She should have won.
The girl that he beat by 38 seconds.
I mean, how much money does that cost these women athletes in scholarships? If a man takes their spot on the team, how many women are losing out on scholarships? What happened to Title IX? What happened to endorsement deals?
Doesn't matter. It's a whole woke liberation. And let me tell you, unfortunately, no one can say anything about it, because if you say anything about it,
it's wrong.
It's wrong. And they will cancel you. And any girls on the team, any girls that were born female according to their birth certificate, they can't say anything because of fear of retribution. Coaches can't say anything. Parents can't say anything because they will go after you and your family and your job. So the woke mob is preventing anyone from saying anything. And these girls have to be devastated by this, knowing that all someone has to do is go through a year and a half of treatment to become a woman. And there they are. Setting records nationwide at the collegiate level.
What I would want to know is the time that he just put in for that event that won the female race. What was his previous best time when he raced as a male? In other words, if he ran it in 4 minutes, 32 seconds and
you mean swam it?
Swam it. If he swam it in 4 minutes and 32 seconds as a male, and now as a female, he's doing it in 4 minutes and 42 seconds, 10 seconds may not be enough. He's probably a little slower than he was before, but it just doesn't make any sense.
So at Penn,
it's not a level playing field.
So they had this. So at Penn, his time was ridiculous. He had an astounding time.
Well, yeah, that's my point.
So it's unfair. I can see women walking away from collegiate sports if this starts to become the trend. I will tell you that the first time we were fired from the morning show, the same situation had come up. The city of Rochester had decided to allow full coverage and full payment insurance coverage for trans surgeries. And someone had called in because there was a boy who played baseball on one of the high school teams and went through the procedure, the trans procedure, and was playing on the girls' softball team. Clearly unfair. Faster, stronger, threw harder. It's just genetics. It happens. Guys by their very nature are bigger and stronger most of the time. Yeah. I won't say all the time, but in that discussion,
it's still any of these sports, you pick whatever sport you're picking, it's still a game of skill. You have to know how to play that particular game. But
let me show you a picture of this guy as before, the before picture. So there he is before. Look how big he is.
Yeah.
Look how big he is. His stature hasn't changed now that she's a woman. The stature is the same.
But she looks great in those 10 pumps.
The stature, the build, the arm length, the leg, strength, that all stays. It doesn't go away. It stays. And it's completely unfair to any woman who is on that team that got beat by her. It is completely unfair. So young women will walk away from sports if this continues to be the trend, and you're seeing it more and more every single day.
What about allowing?
Which is a shame.
What about allowing the females to take male hormone treatments?
Who wants to do that?
I don't know.
Who wants to grow facial hair?
I mean, at some point,
I know some women do want to
out?
transition to be a man, but who wants to do that?
How do you even it out?
That's why we go get waxed, because we don't want it, right? I think it's unbelievable on a couple of levels. One, people who want to speak out can't for fear of the woke mob, that they'll be canceled. These girls aren't going to have a chance against this woman because she used to be a man.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to that. And again, that's at Penn State. So, I mean, just very sad. So I thought
welcome to 2022 now.
I mean, it's at high school level too. Only I think at the high school level, there are some high schools that say in order to participate in varsity athletics, you have to be the gender that you are, that was on your birth certificate when it was issued. So if you were born a female, in order to play high school athletics, you have to play female sports.
Back in the day, you only had to worry about passing class to be on the team.
Different life, people.
Different life.
Different time. Different. What do you got? You got anything?
I got a couple things.
You do?
Do you know, first of all, they found that camel, right, in St. Louis?
What camel are you talking about?
There's a camel running around St. Louis.
I had no idea. I'm not from St. Louis. I'm from Kansas City. We don't allow
Maybe it was Kansas City. It was Kansas City. They had a camel running around Kansas City. They had
they didn't.
They had a nativity scene, a live nativity scene.
Okay.
And apparently the camel escaped and it was running around the city.
I'd want to escape too.
They caught it. Do you know that they're coming out with dog TV? I can't wait.
Haven't they had dog TV?
Do they? This thing said it was set to launch dog TV, that it's good for your dogs as far as stress problems and behavioral problems.
I think they've had dog TV for a while.
How do you get your dog to sit in front of the TV and watch dog TV?
All my dogs do is lay on the couch.
Should they watch TV?
They lay under the blankets. They're chihuahuas. It's what they do.
Animal psychology. That's coming into the forefront here.
You know what? Listen, my fat bastards are they're on the couch. They're lucky they get fed. That's all I'm going to say about that. They don't need to watch dog TV.
I'm going to get it. How much does dog TV cost?
Although I will say this, my husband does put on, like if we were out shopping on Saturday, he did put on college basketball for the dogs to watch while we were gone.
Okay. Just a final thing on the camel. Do you know what they're calling the camel in Kansas City?
Is it Kansas City or is it St. Louis? Get it straight, because there's a big difference.
It's Kansas City.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you 100%?
They're calling him Forrest Hump. Just letting you know. Forrest Hump. Okay. So
okay.
There's this, keeping the dog theme here. There's this dog in Peru that's been eating all the chickens and ducks. It's been killing chickens and ducks.
That's what dogs do.
Have you ever been to, like, when you go to these countries and you walk around and you like tour?
I've never been to Peru.
No, I'm not. Just Peru's all the same.
I've never
Belize,
been to India.
Mexico.
Okay, Belize is not like Peru. I've been to Belize.
Belize is, and you go into these. What do the dogs look like in these towns when you walk around?
Oh, they're just,
it's disgusting,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, they're not taken care of.
Well, apparently this dog.
They're mangy, starving looking dogs.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, apparently this dog in Peru that was eating all the local ducks and chickens was actually a fox.
There's a difference between a fox and a dog.
Well, the people that owned this,
apparently in Peru, they don't know that.
People that owned this dog didn't know it was a fox. And so that's the end of that story. Wait a minute. I got to flip over to the other side.
Okay, very quickly.
Okay. A basketball team in Michigan one of the players created a text thread. You know how when you create text threads
Yeah.
on your phone to get people in. Apparently, there was a wrong number that was put into the thread by mistake, and it was to Sean Murphy Bunting, who was a Michigan native who plays cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, I did see this.
So
Yes.
all the guys for Tampa Bay was the team in basketball team out of Michigan, high school basketball team, was all excited that they ran into the professional football players.
Yeah.
And I guess Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and everybody, they did a
Gronk.
They did a FaceTime with the boys. I assume they were boys.
That's pretty awesome.
High school basketball team there in Michigan. So good for them.
But very nice. All right. Tomorrow on Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network, name changes by the city council. They're not concerned with 79 homicides or 400 shootings total this year. They're just concerned about what the parks are named.
Slaughterville. How about that?
That's a great idea. That's what we'll call tomorrow's show.
It's
Slaughterville.
It's we're honoring Louise Slaughter, and we're also looking into all the homicides.
Right.
So,
That's a great Bloodtown.
Slaughterville.
Listen, for all the patriots out there, come up with a great name for Rochester, and we'll discuss it tomorrow. Slaughterville, Bloodtown. I mean, I don't know, whatever you got. You guys are the creative ones. I'm just, I don't know. I can't think of anything, but those are some ideas that we'll throw your way for tomorrow's Kimberly's Revolution, 4:00 tomorrow, right? 4:00 is
4:00 Wednesday.
Chad
Big
will be with
Wednesday.
us.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
Attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 Howard.